All right, segment 2. This one's called X-ray hook.
X-ray hook. And what do we call it that?
Well, what do you see?
I don't have your expertise. So when I look at this, I can't even tell what type of an animal it is.
Gotcha. Let's start with canine, right? So this canine, what I see, first we need some history. Came in presenting for vomiting, right? Meaning growing up, can't eat, can't keep anything down, probably a couple of days. So over time, the owner finally says, okay, something's wrong. They even looked in the mouth themselves, saw some string, and thank God they didn't pull it. So once you do the math and ask the appropriate questions, like, do you happen to have any string or wire or fishing line that could be in the household that you guys had that this patient could have got into? And of course, most answers, 9 out of 10, is there's no way he got in it, she got in it. We're very secure. Or sometimes you're honest to say it's a possibility we did leave it out. We did, Papa went fishing last week.
Accurate.
Okay. So the thing is, you don't want to pull on these things. As a veterinarian, we always want to check the mouth, right? That's the first sign of any kind of vomiting, is check any oral cavitation, because as you can see, these strings will dangle and they tie up around the base of the tongue, which is the back of the tongue. And if something's there, I'm worried about what's inside. And if it is a hook, imagine yanking on it, you're going to eviscerate the stomach.
You're gonna do it like a fish.
You're going to do it like a fish.
Do it like a fish. But this, you can actually see string on X-ray then, because I'm figuring that that's an nylon line.
Correct. In this case. So we got to get there though. So that's step 2. Once you see the mouth, you hear the issues, I want to take an X-ray. Your vet should definitely take an X-ray for anything vomiting. It's not always something, oh, he just ate some grass, he'll be fine. Grass isn't going to fix that, right? So you got to really take concern, because we don't know collectively what we don't know. And that pet, again, will not tell you what they got into.
Well, let me get into the consumer side of this, right? Because I'm the consumer. When you come out and you tell me you're going to give me an X-ray, my first question is going to be, how much is X-ray? So one, how many images are you trying to take? What can I expect to pay on average for this type of, just for you to do this type of diagnostic?
Yeah. So great question. It really depends on the type of dog, right? So deep chested, if it's a big dog, obviously you can see some chest and some abdomen, and it's a smaller dog, but it depends. If the typical version is 3. A VD, which means ventral dorsal, kind of like this. And then you have a right lateral and a left lateral. And that gives me a broad spectrum image of the pie of what I'm looking at in different locations. Because just because one position looks like it's right there, on the other position, when you flip them, it could be superimposing something else, right? So you really want to get your whole basis points of what you're dealing with, so you have the best treatment plan, because now I have navigation to say, hey, not only is it in there, mom, dad, you got to see this, because now this is more of a cutting procedure. I don't want to induce any more vomiting, right? To try to alter ego this. There's not a shot that's going to fix this. And you want to take this with some caution, because now that we know it's a fishing line, what's at the other end? The fishing hook.
Right.
Maybe, but there's a high possibility. And that's when you take the next X-ray and boom, it's in there. It's in there. So now it's time to go get it.
Doc, you still haven't told me what I paid. I want to know what I paid, and I know you guys want to know what. But I want you to see the value.
Oh, I know. But it's different because it's interpretation of it. Okay. It's interpretation, it's expertise, and more importantly, we got to answer. Okay, what's it gonna cost me, Doc? It's a simple question. It depends. I mean, it depends where you go. Typically, I would say anywhere between $250 to $600. Gotcha. But again, I'm gonna tell you, look, it's gonna cost. And you have to prepare for this, which is why I always tell my clients, please get pet medical insurance to alleviate some of the burdens that are going to come. They're going to come. And if you didn't have the proper procedures and you go from clinic to clinic, some point, unfortunately, some vet will say, we'll just try these pills. And you're going to take those pills because you think it's going to help. And you're throwing a Hail Mary, but it's not going to stop the fishing hook. So who suffers?
Yeah, me, especially if they try to induce vomiting, right?
You don't want to. Well, I'm already vomiting. That's what I came in here for. And by the way, if I give you a pill, you're vomiting. I can't stop it. It's not going to work because you're vomiting. And now that we know why, that's not going to fix that situation.
Yeah, I'm kind of throwing a little bit of a joke on regards to what the cost is, but that's always a big burden for a pet owner to bear, right? I mean, you come up and you're like, it's going to cost $600 for us to take a look and find it, because when you're saying $600, that's to find it. We haven't fixed it yet.
Diagnose it. So it's not just fine. We diagnose it, and now we come up with a treatment plan. It's like saying, let's drive to my house. Okay, how you get there? Good luck. I didn't give you directions. That's right. You don't know where you're going, right? So same for us. We're not a magician. And again, even if the pet could talk, will they tell me the truth? And how bad it is and where it hurts. You have a lot of systems in this abdomen, and I don't know how deep it is. So I want to be cautious with something like that, because if I yank on it, I can get in trouble, right?
I'm seeing, obviously, you got it out, which came with another cost.
Absolutely. So now that we have our diagnosis, we have all the considerations, say this is a cutting procedure for all intents and purposes. Now I need you to allow me to do my job. I didn't put it in the body. I'm just trying to resolve the issue. So it's us versus the issue, in this case, the hook. But again, you don't know what you don't know. But I'm telling you again, get pet medical insurance, because it will happen. Happens more than you think.
I know you don't want me to ask.
I know.
But I'm going to ask. What did it cost to get it out?
Depends. So this was day practice. I mean, we caught on time. This can even range between surgery, anesthetic procedures, pain management, post-op care. We caught it in the stomach. This is probably around $2,500 to $3,500.
Is that on top of the $600?
Well, probably collective. But just imagine if, let's say, Grandpa, he had dogs all his life. So he said, I got it, yanking on it, the dog's screaming in pain, but now I have some lacerations within the stomach. You can only imagine how barbaric this procedure is, because you thought it was a good idea. Or you went to Dr. Google and they said, hey, string here, just do this. And you said, what's more cost effective, right? Which doesn't add up for you, because it's going to be more costly and you can put your dog in more harm.
It goes back to what you always say. That's why even pet insurance is going to try to do, when you run the numbers on pet insurance and you're saying, hey, pet insurance is going to cost me $110 a month. Okay, what is that going to cost me for the year? That's about $1,320 a year. So this one procedure you covered, because you had this procedure, you paid 1/3 of what you would have done without it, right?
For years. And I guarantee you, especially if you have a younger adolescent puppy or kitten, it's going to pay off. You get all your return on your investment, please. And I get a lot of times people will wait. It's been 6 years. We had no issues. We don't need this insurance. And then boom. And now you need it, right? But it really does. I mean, it helps. It's just like car insurance, health insurance for us. And again, your pet can't talk. This was pretty obvious once we got a diagnosis, but a lot of times it's a guessing game, right? Why they're vomiting. This was a home run. Sometimes we don't see anything in there. That doesn't mean it's not there. It just means it's not as radio opaque, right? It means you can't see it. It's not as obvious, right?
There you go. You got it there. That was segment 2. X-ray hook. And now you know why we call it that.
Take the picture.